you respawned.
I gotta send this one.
The worst isekai.
Oh boy, hold on.
There's actually been a follow-up to that comic, by the way.
Hold on.
Is there? I haven't seen
Yes.
it.
No, hold on. I have to look at
This
both
was
of
from
these.
before it was fully announced, I
Until
think.
next time, bud.
Hold on, I gotta send that to my other D&D group.
What this horse tell me in heaven?
Yeah, that's my horse girl group. I gotta send my horse memes.
You
Apparently,
have a horse girl group?
No, I am a horse girl.
Ah.
in that group specifically.
because of the Queen's death, you can no longer sign petitions on the government website, including, for example, this one, which is about trying to get disability benefits to give a one-off payment to help with the cost of living crisis.
That's intentional. This is going to be used to facilitate political stagnation for the next year.
Anyway,
Yeah.
unrelated. So I have started the recording. The Queen died yesterday
Yay.
for the recording.
Oh yes, she has.
Cheers.
I
Come
haven't,
to-
I
She's
haven't
gone for
looked
the great
into- I
double
haven't
decker
looked
in this
into
guy.
it. I haven't looked into it to myself, but I did hear that Another One Bites the Dust is apparently rocketing
Yes.
up the Irish music charts.
Good.
I did see that one video about them at the Irish football stadium.
It's even funnier because it's a song by a band called Queen.
Indeed. So, who would like to do me the kindness of describing what happened last session?
We Columboed it.
Yeah, a lady who could like whisper sweet nothings to plants.
Killed a
Killed-
lizard and then
killed-
You mean
framed
it's
the
the
mayor.
ruin?
Yes, the lady who plays Careless Whisper to the plants.
With the lizard
Has-
friend.
Yeah,
With the
has-
lizard friend, they had feathers. I wrote
has-
this down.
busted it down sexual style and killed the lizard. And then we have sat there like lemons, intimidating this mayor for a whole session.
Yeah, y'all really laid it on
The
this
mayor
guy.
who agreed to work with you guys on this pretty early on, and then you just continued intimidating him.
Listen,
fucking
Stacking
racist.
intimidation.
Which, to be
Listen.
clear, I'm in favor of because, yes, as you said, he's not a good person.
I love
yeah,
that you
we're
were
gonna-
like, that I was like, hey, what can you tell me about this mayor? And you were like, oh, he's racist. And all of us just went, oh, okay. And like the tone changed immediately.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
we,
yeah.
we were all willing to help until we learned that the mayor listens to the equivalent of InfoWars in this place, and then we were just like, okay, we're just
You
going to
guys
take everything
need
he's
to
got.
remember
Biting
his
him,
first
biting him,
defense of
biting him.
himself was not, I wouldn't kill her. His first defense of himself was, I wouldn't shoot her, I'd have her hanged.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not a good guy.
I mean, that's
No.
just smart politics, though.
I will stab you.
I'm glad y'all are having fun with it. There was one other thing that happened last session. You guys got to listen to a thing
Yeah.
on the radio that I
Scary
have been
radio
asked to play
time.
again at the start of this session, so I will play it again.
Oh, sweet. I can edit my frantic notes.
You can edit your notes. I will remind you guys, you're going to want to turn up Fredboat because it is spoken word content. I'll give you guys a second to do that before I
Oh
go to
god.
music.
Oh fuck. Music. Also, I did notice Young Old Reservoir and Old Young Reservoir.
Oh, did you only just notice that?
Yes.
I love it. I love them. My favorite locations on the map.
Okay,
Ah.
and then we copy this and we go /play.
Hi, Jessica. This is.
Oh,
Steve.
God, it's
I
playing the
wanted to
entire
know what
playlist.
You're looking at right now.
I accidentally added this. Hang on, give me a second.
in
I'm
before
so
we get
embarrassed.
spoilers because
No, that wasn't spoilers.
Hi,
that was news
Jessica.
from Ottawa from like a month ago.
Hi,
Oh.
Jessica.
No, a year ago. That was a
Hi,
newscast I had to do for
Jessica.
college. It's in the newscast playlist for my YouTube channel.
damn, I can't believe
Slams
Ottawa is canon in
Yeah.
New Zealand County.
receives news broadcast from Illinois, slaps radio, fixes itself, Damn, radio, it always does this.
Now it's going to start playing.
Good afternoon, Zion County. This is news you can use on Brinewater Radio. I'm Curio Logain, and today's broadcast is sponsored by Thinworth Tanners, the finest purveyors of leathers, pelts, and hides in all of northern Zion. Now offering Phoenix Down. Visit Thinworth Tanners in the Thinworth Market District. Now, on to today's news. Our stories for the day begin in the far north, where the Iron Lungs bounty has been increased. Sheriff Gainsley Lockheel of Narrow Woods says the infamous outlaw, typically known to work alone, has recently been spotted collaborating with forces unknown. A witness reported to us in the morning on the 5th of Bloomdawn, 3 days ago, the Iron Lung was visible camping in the wilderness with 2 tiefling sisters. These reports have been corroborated by hunters known to frequent the area. We are currently referring to these twins as Thoughts and Prayers, respectively, and are treating them as people of interest. Thoughts and Prayers are as good as cots and scares to the dead, but Sheriff Lockheel says these 2 devil bloods should be assumed to be incredibly dangerous to the living and avoided when possible. If you have any information on the whereabouts of the Iron Lung or the 2 girls, Lockheel is urging you to speak with the lawmasters in Brinewater. We now travel far to the south to the quiet logging village of New Nimbus, where reports say the mayor has been kidnapped. Water runner Harriet Maxfield says he's not the only one. Aaron Dudley, the water runner normally responsible for handling shipments to New Nimbus, has also gone missing recently, so I've had to take over his route for the time being. The last we heard from him was 3 weeks ago. I've heard there have been some troubles on my normal route to Prospector Cliff, but we have some outlaws on that road most of the time anyway, so my hope is that it's nothing more serious than that. The mayor of New Nimbus, one Harper Warner, was reportedly seen around the same time. Color Curio Curious. Our last story concerns the Feeders of Crows, a notorious outlaw group we last covered a year ago. The last time they made headlines, the group had been run out of town from Old Mountain after a slew of gangland murders, and some reports say the Foul Quartet's bad habits have failed to die, with witnesses claiming Old Red Fang and the Sorrow were recently spotted in a Gold Run saloon. We've sent our ace reporters to the town to investigate. That's it for news you can use with Curio Logain. If you see some news we could use, let us know. The front doors to our office in Brinewater are open 24/7. Our interns can sleep when they die. And now the weather. Good afternoon, Zion
Oh God, it's looping.
County. This is news
Yeah, I
you...
did this last time.
Because you set the thing to loop.
Shut up, me. There we go.
I can't believe I didn't notice the first time it was 27-4.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Oh,
go.
that's very fun.
That's
Okay,
all
I got a
mountain.
couple more notes from that this time.
That's
Thank
all
you.
wood.
There's still a little bit at the end where my brain just shreds.
Thank you for your
There's
service.
so much information happening.
The video, I believe, is also in... Is it not in session media? I thought I put it in session media. It's in bonus content. So if you decide you want to go back over it at some point, it is there.
Hell
Thank you.
yeah.
So
Something
You
fever
guys-
froze and then I lose it.
wake up to the noise of that. It is about 6 in the morning. It's
Mhm.
early. We are going to start, as we've done, I think, every session at this point, with Chrono.
Hi. This could be a thematic thing. I'm choosing to believe it is.
It's not intentional. It's just I rolled for you during the first session, and then every other session since then, you've had the most convenient starting point. So, Chrono,
Hi.
you wake up a moment before that newscast because last night you put out some feelers, asked some questions of your contact to gather some information. You hear something you've heard before. You being a spellcaster, you know this is a magical message you are receiving. Hey, buddy. How you doing? Sorry to wake you up bright and early, but I think I might have some of that info you were asking for. Come find me when you have time.
Is this one that I can respond to?
You can.
Okay. Well, we don't have anything to do. What time is it today, or at the moment?
The newscast played at 6, so it's like 5:58 a.m.
Okay. And what's the name of the saloon? Fuck, that the lady died at.
That is the Red Sky at Night.
Okay. Noon, red sky at night. I expect a drink. Or rather,
You got it, buddy.
yeah, no, that's all
You guys all arise. Everybody that was at camp last night is at camp again now. There were some tears shed, obviously. It was a very hard time. The kids especially took it hard. Angus is again absolutely livid.
Mhm.
You do notice Harmony, Ket's mother, does not seem to be at the camp at the moment, which is odd. At this time in the morning, she's usually making breakfast.
Mm.
Do I have that spell? No, because I'm a fucking idiot. Okay.
You, as everyone is sitting around, in place of Harmony, Elizabeth has taken a moment to prepare a simple breakfast. It's basically just some porridge for everybody. Doesn't taste great, but it's food.
Doesn't harm.
She hands it off to everybody. She's got a tiny little, like, a coffee cup full of it that she slides over to Awful, who dives in head first and is just, his ass is kind of hanging out of the cup as he
Oh.
sucks it down. Miss Harmony took a moment to step into town to go find that reporter that was there, as was discussed last night, she says.
Ah,
I'm sure she'll be back soon. Kat, speaking of, I don't-
what? Yep.
you remember that nice woman we met last night with the daughter?
Yeah.
We're a bit late. We should go and visit them since we didn't quite have the chance to last night.
Right.
Though, of course, we should get orders from the head first, and he'll kind of like dip his head slightly in respect towards Storm.
Hmm.
Last night, before everything went down at the bar, Ket and I met a very nice woman. Missing Tabaxi daughter, adopted. Her wife and the woman that we met. Very worried about her. Tabaxi, 11, calico, 4 foot, medium length fur. Disappeared about 5 days ago. I've already started looking into it, but with the amount of things we look into,
Well,
I figured you would permit me to spare sources for this. Know your soft spot for children.
you know whereabouts she
Um,
disappeared?
It was explained to you, Chrono, that one night or one day she went to school and just never came home.
Yeah.
Did they elaborate where the school was?
Yes, I believe
Clearport.
it was in Clearport. Okay, good. I did remember that correctly.
She went to school in Clearport, taught by Miss Thinworth.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Um,
far out on the road.
She also can make water. I feel
It's
like
in our
that's
interests.
important to mention. because someone could have taken her to use her for that.
Well, let me take a look at the fucking map.
Dinsworth is to our east.
Clearport is up here.
Oh, fuck. I-
Miss Thinworth was the name of the teacher because I was trying to come up with a name and I panicked.
You know what? That's fine. About how far is that?
It's
Since I know that
25 feet away.
as the crow flies, it's about the same distance, away from Prospector Cliff as Brinewater. So it would be like a day's travel on foot or on horseback. She described them as having used some kind of wagon to get there faster, but it'd probably take a day, maybe a day and a half if you stop in Brinewater to get there.
Mhm.
Well, knowing what's going on the roads lately, I get the inkling in the back of my head that those two things might not be as unconnected as they first appear.
exactly, and with such a powerful asset resting within Prospector Cliffs, well, I'd prefer her here than I would there.
Gives a shit about assets. It's gonna help us figure out what the fuck's going on. Go ahead.
Anyone else would like to come with me?
I mean, sure, I ain't got nothing else to do today.
I would be happy to accompany. Annabelle raises her hand. I believe my companion, Miss Sally, had something she wanted to discuss first, but after that, I would be more than happy to accompany you guys and help out however I can.
Well,
Give me 1 second. I'm pulling up the portrait. As you guys are talking about this, you guys notice, sort of cresting over. You guys are on like a hill, a short walking, like a 5-minute walk away from town. And you notice coming over that hill, Harmony, and she is with someone, a human man. He looks maybe in his early 30s, late 20s. It's a little hard to tell. Kind of short brown hair that he's got slicked back a little bit. A leather duster over simple clothes. He looks, in fact, like copy, paste. He looks like this.
Oh shit.
Why is he shaded like he's from the Borderlands?
Because this is a character model from a game in, I want to say, Unity.
do we know
He-
him?
You do not, but you do recall that one of the ways last night before everyone finally left the mayor's office, one of the things that was discussed was how the hell are we going to break the news that Karma's dead?
We were not in his office.
Not in his office, in Karma's, you know what I mean, in Karma's bedroom. One of the things that was discussed was how the hell are we going to break the news of this? And one of the ideas that Harmony suggested was that she knows a reporter in town that might be able to help come up with a statement that is going to piss off the least amount of people, or find a way to get the news out through him or something of the sort.
Yeah.
You suspect this might be that might be this fella.
Morning.
Morning. Harmony waves and gestures to her companion, who bows. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. My name is Artyom.
Artyom. You
I
the
won't
journalist?
spell yes. I work with a radio station in Brinewater. I apologize for accent. I'm not originally from around here.
Nah, who gives a rat's ass? Not you, Waffle.
Excuse you.
Oh, I
He seems
spelled it right.
completely unbothered by the talking rat, but that's another thing. Yes, I am reporter from radio station in Brinewater, I was told there was something you needed to find a way to get word out about in town.
Yeah.
Your friend here would not go into specifics, but I
Right.
heard a gunshot last night and assume the worst.
Yes, so... No, this isn't our usual business of field business. We're currently investigating a murder that happened last night. It's, the owner of the, inn in the, let's call it poorer side of town.
Feather District.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
what we're trying to figure out is how do we break this news without causing, well, to be blunt, too much ethnic tension. I've already negotiated with the mayor that the typical additional water price for animal folk would be taken off until further notice. That should help smooth things over a little bit. But, well, it's a community leader that was murdered in her own home.
He nods understandingly. If I may make suggestion, you said you are investigating, correct?
We are.
Perhaps we frame it as this grievous murder has been committed against a beloved member of community. I get statement from you, not necessarily you specifically, but one of you, as investigators looking into the cause. You give me whatever details you feel appropriate to not piss off everybody in town. And
See,
I persuade, and he gestures to, he has a revolver at his side, mayor to give statements to the effect of this horrible act perpetrated against a beloved member of community. I know he doesn't love her. Mayors are racist. It happens.
I'm
these-
aware.
There's a
So-
knot.
And
Wow.
that
What?
is
Storm.
I don't
may
know. That was not done, but if you insist.
You won't have to persuade the mayor of anything. I'm sure he's willing to tell you just about whatever he needs. And if we perhaps already had a statement from the mayor, would you be willing to take our word on it? I'm sure he would agree to whatever corroborations would be needed to ease things.
my seeking statement from mayor is less to ensure that he is playing along, more to he reaches into his pocket and pulls out a little tape recorder, more to put on the record to broadcast to world that he is playing along. I'm aware he's playing along. You're aware he's playing along. We need to make sure everyone else is aware.
Either way,
So-
the gun won't be necessary. Storm?
Fair enough.
See, here's my problem with this. We still have a few leads in town. Leads that might be spooked. They know that we're investigating it. And that's something we would like to avoid. It makes for very, very annoying business when trying to investigate something like this. Not that I think you'd be indiscreet or anything, but we should time this correctly.
I would be happy to give it a few days. I would need to make my way back to Brinewater anyway, which would take at least a day.
How about this?
Here's my
Storm.
It always happens. Here's my proposal. You give a preliminary statement that she has died. No details, just that she has died, and that special expose or whatever special statement.
Investigations are ongoing.
I wouldn't mention the investigations, but just an expose on the details will come shortly, in a couple days.
No.
We gotta be careful with our words here.
Storm, the entire town heard the gunshot.
Well, what I don't want them to know is that it's being investigated quite yet.
No, they demand it.
They do. I just... How do I put this?
We need to release the information that it is at least being looked into. That should quell tensions, as long as we don't delay too long on the answer.
Well...
People aren't the kind to go around pointing fingers willy-nilly unless they have reason to. And if memory serves, there's only a very few number of people who knows who was in that room last night. So it'd be within our best interests to keep it that way. And potentially have people bring themselves forth for leads to us. Yes?
Chrono, I agree with you, but I think you overestimate the rationality that goes into mobs.
Well, there isn't one yet.
Well,
Yeah.
Cat,
Huh?
you mentioned something about a preacher. That was one of the people we wanted to look into.
Oh yeah. Wait, hold on. I have it in my notes somewhere.
I'm imagining she physically has this, like, stack of papers. It's not even, like, notes properly. It's just a stack
She
of
probably
papers.
just pulls a little notepad out of one of her many pockets.
I apologize, by the way, if I'm quiet for a minute. I just spilled 36 dice all over the floor.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh,
Your dice addiction.
Your dice.
The
I'm
real
very
karma.
Gone.
Yeah. Our DM has a crippling dice addiction. It's
This always happens.
That's
well,
funny.
Oh yeah, it's a real hoot.
Yeah,
You shouldn't
town preacher.
Where did they go?
You know, I'll just wait.
I'll
You can
find the
wait
rest
for the
later.
dice.
I'll find the rest later. It's fine.
Yeah, there's. Is his name Mills?
His last name is Mills.
Okay.
He goes by
yeah.
Preacher Mills because you know
Preacher Mills.
you don't call your Reverend Dave.
I mean,
Yeah.
Speak for yourself.
well,
Yeah, not a big fan of karma.
cool. Well, that's gonna be our first lead. That's really the only one where I'm like, he might jump. Not in the way we'd get rid of him.
Storm,
Yes, friend.
word, please. Kind of gonna lean over to you. Here's the other thought. If we simply say we're investigating and that we don't know any more than that, there's a not significant chance that whoever was very clearly trying to frame the mayor will come out with some form of evidence in regards to it. Then
Maybe.
we'll have a much stronger lead. We'll know where to start. We know the motive.
Well, either way, I would like to make it so that this is not released before we investigate and question our current leads.
He just kind of runs his fingers over his face. I think we should send him to Brinewater with this information at very least. It'll take him a day to get there.
Yes,
it'll give us
that's what I
plenty
was
of his time.
suggesting.
He just puts his hand on his face a little bit and I'm just like, yes.
Chrono, you have a bad habit of seeing a disagreement between the two of us where there is none.
We had simply phrased things more intelligently.
Well, you could have asked me to clarify. No.
Am I interrupting something by being here?
No, he's just like that.
Okay.
Listen. But you go ahead. Make sure this makes it to someone so that we can have a conciliatory statement by, say, what's today?
Today is. Hang on. I actually plotted this out. It is the 9th of the month. Bear with me while I open the calendar.
9th of the month.
I
What
picked
is-
a month, and I didn't write it down on my table, so I can't see it.
How about pretend like I'm an idiot and tell me what the equivalent is? I'm a
Well, it's an 11-month calendar, so
fuck.
Use the Julian calendar. for reference.
Here we go. It is the 11th, which is the one that I was thinking of. It's the 9th, excuse me, of High Bloom. So,
Oh. Just today's the 9th, early morning. If you leave town by, say, just before noon, you get to Brinewater. Make sure you don't get killed on the way there, obviously.
the absolute earliest it would be able to make it to air is the 11th.
11th.
That gives us
Right,
plenty
it
of
should-
time. And not to mention, it'll be another day back at very least, if not 2. So, by the 13th. And then it'll be another day after that until it gets onto the air,
Wow.
I imagine.
It just said the earliest it could be on air would be the 11th.
That's this newscast.
It-
The one
yes,
that we
over
are
the
sending.
radio.
Yes, I'm. The one that he will need the mayor's statement for.
Oh, that's what you mean.
Yes.
Okay.
With negotiations out of the way, with your permission, would you mind I record your statement? Whoever would choose to speak.
May I?
You found the body.
He clicks the record button. Dee Dee, would you be willing to do me the favor of muting Fredboat on your end in the recording for the duration of your statement so that I can use it in a newscast?
Awesome.
Awesome.
Quick question.
Yeah.
About what time was Karma shot? Midnight?
Yeah, around midnight.
Well, while you all do that, I'm gonna go.
And do we have a name for the gang? That is my next thing. I'm just gonna call it the Storm Gang, if not. Desert Storm? Darude. No, we're Darude!
No, we're not.
No, we're
No,
Darude.
we are
Darude.
not.
Darude.
No.
Darude.
Veto. Veto.
Then come up with a better name, coward.
I like to imagine this debate is happening in real time.
In character.
Chrono's eyes are just like lighting up.
I
He looks
have
happy
to-
for like the first.
I have suggestions. We just never got to a point where we would discuss this.
Okay. Okay.
You can feel free to hash out. I can like step away and you can, call me
Okay.
back over.
Let's come up with this really quickly, and then
Yeah, cool. I'm gonna go have some of that rat porridge. And he goes over and grabs the cup of coffee that Awful is currently sticking out of.
You can have some
Steps
regular
slightly to the side.
porridge. Okay.
It tastes better with rat.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Well,
I still think we should be named Darude.
I really
What
don't
is-
want a
what
meme
is
name for
that?
this. I'm gonna be real with you.
What's
Darude
the
The
root?
Root
Sandstorm.
Sandstorm.
No, I know
Sorry.
what it is.
Oh.
God knows.
I would
I haven't
really
seen that
prefer
play.
we really prefer we figured out an actual name.
What would you suggest?
The Sands of
glorious
Time?
Leader?
Uh,
I mean,
well,
Sally?
we have just been doing water sales this whole time. We could be known as like the Waterlogger Crew or something like that. Simple to the point.
like, I like the idea of something like. It'd also be funny because our de facto mascot, I'm sorry, that's what he is now, is a rat. Is hold on, there's an old-timey word for water that's escaping me right now.
Liquid?
No, it's not
Aqua?
old-timey.
Yeah, Agua was the first
Adam's
thing that came to mind, but
ale.
it's not a. There you go.
But
It's just
also,
water in another language.
yeah, well, things like the Aqua Runners, or if that's too.
Green Rat Gang. I like that one.
Typically, gangs are named for their leaders.
Yeah.
So,
We could be being led by the rat. You don't know.
This is like a
Storm rats.
Ratatouille
Like a
situation.
Ratatouille situation.
I will offer out of character
Guys.
as the DM the two names of other outlaw gangs that you have heard so far are the only one actually, now that I think of it. The other one came up in my real life group. The only one that you've heard is the Feeders of Crows. So that seems to be the format.
We could just be like the Storm Rats. That's still an actual like.
We just got the rat, though. Are we just coming up with our gang name after being together
No,
after
but-
5 years?
No, but
Rat catchers?
Okay, but
rat
bandit. We're
catchers.
bandits, and bandits are traditionally known as rats. Because they're vermin.
Mhm.
Um.
Hold on. Where's the?
Hold on. What the fuck is that in English?
I'm loving the mental image I'm building up in my head of Artyom going back to the radio station and going, yeah, a whole bunch of bandits are looking into that murder. And the cops are like, what? Why?
Don't worry about it.
Where did we? Let's hold on. So, if we're going with the Red Dead analogy,
Yeehaw.
Hi.
in this equation, Storm is
Or
Dutch, and fucking Chrono would be Hosea, because those are the first two members that came up, that came together rather. So let me think. What did we start out doing, like when we first properly came together?
Probably one of the early profitable things that you would have been able to start doing would have been let me think about that actually. For just a
So,
moment.
you
I
and
had
I
some
were the
notes here.
first ones that met.
Yes.
Then we probably picked up Angus not too far along the way. We could have probably made a very effective hire.
Well, Angus was the most recent, I thought.
Yes, Angus was the most recent pickup.
Oh, okay. Then next would be Cat and Harmony?
Probably.
Sure.
And then
You're asking me. You guys are allowed to decide your own gang's history.
Oh,
I will say it depends on what you would have been able to do starting out. Depends on where you would have started out, but probably one of the early profitable things you would have been able to do. Since Chrono is a magic user, which is like really, 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 really rare in Zion County, just
Ooh.
shaking down like traveling merchants and stuff by like throwing a fireball in their general vicinity and saying, give me all your money, would have been profitable. And that's a very easy place to start because Firebolt is a cantrip.
all right. Then
Question?
I
Sorry, you
Oh,
go.
sorry. Yeah. What's up?
then who was that?
Go ahead.
Uh, then I personally vote that we should include something along the line of highwaymen, because that's what we were essentially, and still are.
Hold on. Highway Storms? That makes us sound like a religious group.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Storm bandits.
Sure.
Hold on. Synonym, bandit synonym. I'm getting up my thesaurus.
I
Storm
like
just
the-
has
yeah.
one of these.
I have synonyms for water open right
Storm robbers. Storm brigands.
I like Storm Robbers, but I feel like that, like the gang part is
Makes me
too
think
of, like-
obvious.
Dread pirate.
The Dread Pirate Roberts.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's also holdupper, rustler, desperado, outlaw, hijacker, mugger, looter, pillager, marauder. Well, not really looters.
Oh fuck.
Rustler.
What about something like sand drops or storm grains? Like, you know. I
So,
know sand
is
and
this a straight up desert? Or is this like...
Arizona?
It's not quite. It's not a full-on desert. Like you can see, there are like trees and rivers and stuff. It's an arid climate, but it's not like Moses isn't parting the Red Sea and finding nothing.
It's a
right?
savanna.
Like, yeah, it's a savanna. Thank
Okay.
you. That's the word I was looking for.
So there's brush. Lots of brush.
Monsoon. What about monsoon something?
The monsoon.
Kind of storm. I will say, by the
Yeah.
way, I don't know if you guys I linked the calendar thing. At the bottom of that there is a pantheon and there is a god called the Storm Lord.
What is...
Oh.
Yeah.
Hang
Hurricane.
So-
Is this in the
Highwayman.
bonus content?
I had it somewhere, but I don't remember where I put it. Hang on.
We
Well-
could be. This is a stupid name, but we could be the Grain Gale Grifters, because Gale is in like storm, Grain is in like Sands of Time, like Sangraim, and then Grifters because that's just alliteration.
We could also go with family. A lot of actual gangs named themselves family. And when it was just like me, Chrono, my wife, and my kids, that probably would have looked accurate.
Eh,
The family and Chrono.
Yeah.
I'm imagining
Well-
Alex calls Chrono Uncle.
Alistair
Uncle
here.
Chrono.
Alistair.
Or Alistair. Sorry.
Sonic
Yeah.
and Knuckles.
Yeah.
Okay, what about... I'm liking Gale or Tempest or Monsoon or Tempest. Like that's a good. That's a good.
Gale. Hold on. There is...
Gale Lords. Meme names are so much easier to come up with. Just the old young reservoir, come on.
Yeah, no, I
And the young old reservoir, come on. We could be Darude. We could be the Gale Lords. Please. All in favor of Gale Lords. Say aye.
No, come on. For once.
We have never once managed to come up with a group name in any of our D&D parties. I just want to point that out.
There,
because
I was
nobody
expecting.
cares.
I was expecting you guys to keep trying in Prometheus Principle after David was like, "Hey, you guys have heard of that group name thing?" And Warwick was like, "No." I expected you guys to keep trying. I didn't think that was just going to be Warwick completely shutting it down.
I like how we went, oh, okay.
I was just trying to be funny about like he wouldn't know about that.
Oh. The Gale Reavers.
Oh.
Ooh.
I like that one. I like that one a lot, actually. Gale Reavers?
So, because specifically... Okay, do you know what the origin of the term Reaver?
I know about it in Firefly.
So, the Reavers... No, that's... Reaper. Reavers were Vikings. And specifically, they were not Vikings that landed ashore and slaughtered people and robbed their homes. They were they were Vikings that stopped merchant ships and robbed them blind and then left. They were pirates, but they did also have land operations. This later extended to them essentially hauling their little longships into rivers and basically becoming these highwaymen that would just drive up the river, block a bridge, and then rob people there.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm liking the Gale Reavers. All in favor?
I'm not so sure on it, but I think I'm outvoted here.
Bobby.
Sure.
Just to settle the debate.
Yeah, it's for...
Me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm one of those where it doesn't sound right, but I'm also like,
This is the best one we've come up with so far. And I don't want to
Yeah.
say...
Colloquially, people would just call us the Reavers, right?
There you go.
And we
Or
would,
those assholes that keep taking my water.
Yeah.
a gale is also colloquial for, or old-timey colloquial for a very large amount of water.
So, all right.
It fits. You guys took long enough to come up with that by the time you turn around to like talk to Artyom again, he is like fully having a fist fight with Awful over the remaining porridge.
All right, you two.
Fist fighting?
All right.
A rat?
All right, Chrono,
That
you
rat's
give
got
your.
hands.
All right, Chrono, you give your statement. I'm gonna go piss on a cactus.
It's okay. Next question. What time did over the table? What time about was the gunshot? Midnight?
Yeah, about midnight.
I'm going to mute the
You
bot.
are prepared to give statement now?
Yes. Whenever you're ready, I shall be as well.
He clicks the recorder on and holds it not directly in front of your mouth, but close enough to pick up your voice.
Last night, the 9th of this month, we were celebrating our bringing home of the water at the tavern on the Feather District side of town. Just a little past midnight, we were unfortunate enough to hear a gunshot, one that I'm sure the whole town will be hearing no end of. In our investigations, we, as the Gale Reavers, are sorry to say that the body of Karma has been found, and are currently looking into all methods and potential answers for who could have shot her.
That is everything?
If you have more information, you are free to find us on this south side of town.
He gives the silence a couple seconds and then clicks the recorder back off, tucks it back in his pocket. Thank you very much for your cooperation. I will be taking a moment to go pay the mayor a visit. I will let him know you sent me. And yes, thank you for your cooperation. I'm going to take a bowl of this porridge with me to go. It's quite good. He
Fair enough.
he takes one of your bowls, takes one of your spoons, and walks off with them.
Well,
You guys now at this point it's between the conversation with Artyom and then arguing about your name and then giving the statement. It is about 6:30. You see I'm trying to remember character names. Harmony has started to prepare a slightly heartier meal for the larger individuals among the group, namely Angus. You guys are free to go about whatever business you want. I am in town, outside of town, whatever you want. I'm gonna roll a d4 and see who we go to first.
For the record, remind me, we did just manage to get the mayor out without anyone seeing him, yes?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Where the hell
We
was there?
are starting with Sally.
Mm-hmm.
Sally, you were told in as subtle of terms as possible that Annabelle assumed you two wanted to have a chat, and you are also free to investigate anything you want in town. What would you like to do?
I guess I'm going to get grab a couple drinks, either from the bar or if that's not open, just from a store somewhere that's like prepackaged or something. Just something. Find a quiet place to sit with Annabelle and then start the conversation.
You guys are able to. There's a little bench next to the blacksmith shop, made of metal, which is on the border between the Feathered District and the what's the name of the rich people district? The Nightstones. It's situated right on the border. It's not quiet in the sense of low noise. It is quiet in the sense of the ambient noise of the blacksmith shop is loud enough that you will likely not be bothered as you have this conversation, and any details that are discussed are unlikely to be heard by any passersby.
Mhm.
You had said last night you wanted to talk. What's up?
This ain't an easy conversation, but I think that if anyone's gonna understand, obviously it's gonna be you, considering, well, it's it's about you know what.
In what way?
Given that I think that there's, those weird fucking ass bug things we saw?
Right, yeah, the one that Elizabeth is still working on the body of, right?
Yeah. I hate to say it, but I noticed some very, very, very big similarities between how that was composed and how, well, yeah,
Like you?
yeah,
Like us?
yeah, like us. And uh, did you hear about the fine details about what happened in that room last night?
She sighs, runs her hand like through her hair, pushes like her bangs out of her eyes, takes a swig of the drink that you've given her. I don't know all of it, but I can imagine from the description of the way in which the mayor was framed that it was people we're familiar with.
Yeah, yeah, it very much seems that way. Uh, I was wondering whether it might be best to at least. I know we said we keep it secret. I figured I wanted to talk because I don't know whether it's best if we inform Storm or not because of the. Well, if he's acting up in this area, then extra hands to look out for him will be good. And obviously, if he is out and about, what the danger that.
Give me a perception check.
Sure thing.
Or insight, whichever you prefer.
Ooh, definitely insight. Considering my perception is a 2, my insight is a 5.
21. As you are talking, you notice Annabelle is holding the sort of the glass container that the drink was in. She's starting to like sweat a little bit. She slams back the rest of the drink, finishes it, and Annabelle is not the strongest woman you've ever met. She's a spellcaster. She doesn't really need to be. Annabelle crushes the glass in her hand and her fists clench really hard. The way I see it, her voice, I might not be able to do it because it's late and I'm not a great actor, but Annabelle's voice is trembling a little bit. The way I see it, our kidnappers reemerging like this is maybe the best opportunity we're going to have to get some kind of payback. And if we're going to do that, and I think at this point we might have to, I think we want everybody else on our side. And I think that means we should probably come clean.
Sally grimaces slightly before downing some of her drink, and like she has like an uncomfortable expression on her face, but like a resigned, uncomfortable expression. Yeah, I hate to say it, but I think you're right. I mean, I know our plan was to just keep it silent, block it out, keep it out of mind. But yeah, you're right. And I guess if that happens, it means that at least if something happened to somebody else in our group, it ain't on our heads. We know we done our best, and as you say, we're on the same page in terms of getting those sons of bitches.
That
If that means we tell everyone else to be able to slice a knife through their necks,
the other
Yeah.
silver lining that might come of this, Chrono and Christopher, they're both from, she points up. They're from Topside.
mm-hmm.
The guy that made us, I think he was too. There's a chance they might know something about him.
Yeah.
Breaking up a little, by the way, Ian.
Sorry. My internet's not amazing right now. Were you
Yeah.
able to get that?
Didn't catch that part.
Didn't
The
catch
rest-
that part, yeah.
The rest
Oh, okay,
of
I was
the-
asking if everything came
mostly
through,
okay.
which is funny. Um,
Most of it did.
I get the general gist. Oh. Hello?
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, did Amber might have cut off for me. Did you?
You're
We heard everything.
Okay, then we're good. Anyway, Annabelle nods and agrees that it's probably time for the group to come clean, and then stands up to leave and join the rest of the group in
Yeah.
investigating everything else around town.
Before Annabelle leaves, Sally's gonna look like she's like really serious about something, and then is then just gonna look up with like a fake, like really depressed, serious expression. Just go, I guess this means I can't make those stories anymore. It was so fun leading them on those bullshit stories and seeing if they'd figure it out.
I
Anyway,
mean,
back.
You can keep telling those to like Alistair. Alistair doesn't need to know everything. You have a little fun with the kid.
I guess that's true. But,
And he
yeah,
believed that that's why it was fun.
yeah. But yeah, I agree with you. Let's get this show on the road, I guess.
You guys get up and oh my god, the owl hooting in that ambience just scared the hell out of me. I thought it was a dog barking. You guys get up and start making your way elsewhere. We are going to cut to Ket. Ket,
Oh,
you
shit.
wanted to investigate the preacher. Are you bringing anybody with you? Christopher,
Does
you
any-
also wanted to. Do you two want to go together?
You cut out.
Christopher,
Yeah,
you
that's
also
fine.
wanted to investigate the preacher. Would you two like to go together?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
Sorry about my internet.
All good.
You guys make your way to the Preacher's Cathedral, which is also
To
on
his
the border
what now?
between. Sorry, the cathedral. Cathedral.
I heard
Sorry.
Spiffy Brit.
The spiffy Brit.
Uh,
You
A
go
classic
to
preacher location.
the Preacher's Cathedral. It's also on the border between rich people neighborhood and poor people neighborhood. It is a small building. Cathedral is probably a very strong word to describe it. Oh god, I've lost my connection to Roll20.
Oh no.
Your internet is fighting for its life.
I'm having a bad 5 minutes. Let me tell you. You.
I like the let me
Make-
tell you was absolutely clear. The rest of it then it went back to being garbled.
Oh, lovely.
tell
I'm
ya,
having an amazing time.
you-
I'm having an amazing time.
Is your Steam doing anything, perhaps?
I don't even think I have it. Yeah, no, because Steam's also not connected. Okay.
Canadian.
I think my internet just gets like this at night, and I don't like it. You guys make your way to the cathedral, small building, blah blah blah, also on the border. Inside, on this time of day, it's empty, other than the preacher, who is a sort of middle-aged, very balding. He looks like Pearson from Red Dead 2. Human man who looks up as you enter and immediately grimaces. What do you want?
Well, Cat, I don't know. What do we want, Cat?
I mean, we want to just probably can't just walk in and like accuse them of anything. Much as I
Oh,
want
no
to.
one's accusing anything of it. Anyone of anything.
Then why are you here?
Oh my god, your connection
Um.
is so bad. I cannot understand a word you're saying.
So sorry. I'm so sorry. I just popped a 5,000 ping.
ooh.
Oh.
I don't know why this is happening. I don't know what I did to deserve this. I'm so sorry.
God, internet, please.
Are you
Let-
connected
let
through
our dad
Wi-Fi?
live.
No, I'm on Ethernet. It's just like this.
Wow.
Normally, the thing I do when this happens is restart my router.
It's the backwoods Canada.
No, that might help. We'll call 5-minute break as we enter the cathedral. I'll go do that and see if that helps.
Yeah.
There's a very real chance this 5-minute break turns into we'll pick this up next week, but we'll find out.
Oh no.
Godspeed.
I'm very sorry and we'll be right back.
All good.
Because,
What a world.
so, those random spikes is why I actually assume why it's probably the router and not just their connection being
Mhm.
bad. Because if your connection gets bad, if you don't get enough bandwidth, it just gets consistently poor. But these constant spikes of good ping, bad ping, good ping, bad ping usually means that your router is not getting through.
Mm,
It's not getting through from itself.
yeah, like it's
To-
bottlenecking itself.
Yes. Usually,
Hmm?
Sorry. I'm looking at Twitter. I'll post this in a...
usually the reason for this actually is that the software responsible for managing these things tends to like get memory leaks and crash.
Oh, that's actual.
Speaking of which,
That's...
I am prepared. I don't know if you guys are prepared, but I'm prepared
Oh lord.
for once.
I am never prepared, but I just roll with the punches.
I'm ready to rumble.
Oh, I have a donut. I forgot about that.
Ooh.
Crunch, crunch, crunch. Your donut. Hungry.
All right, you owe me a donut.
No. It's I, you know.
Me sewing Oh yeah, this is awesome. I love this. Me reaping. What the fuck? Oh my god, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wet rats. Sorry.
I've just seen.
Yeah,
Oh my
I
god.
stand by the wet rats.
No, we're the moist rodents now.
Hey Poppy,
I-
you said you're a horse girl, right? That in like another group, not like in
Yes.
general.
Hot topic horse girl. My
Here you
beloved.
go. Take this.
I've just seen.
That's really funny.
That's a power move.
because That's
Ah,
like welcome back.
Oh,
Hi.
speak for a bit.
talking. This is the sound of my voice. I
Awesome,
am
that fixed it.
okay. Good.
Ooh.
Yay! I'm very sorry. Anyway, the preacher asked, "If you're not accusing anybody, then why are you here? And why did you bring the demon with you?" Pointing towards
What
Cat.
would I be accusing you of?
You heard that gunshot. We all did.
Fair enough. Well. Well, you see, I used to be an investigator. Up top, you understand. And, well, when someone dies, you, talk to people that had some notable relation to them. And, well, in a small town like this, on a level all notable people in it have some relation to one another.
What's your point?
That I'd like to ask you some questions.
Ask away, he says, grimacing the whole time.
Well, you obviously heard the gunshot. Whereabouts were you when you heard that?
In bed, it was midnight.
In bed. Anything else that was out of the ordinary that night?
Not to my knowledge. Again, I was in bed.
Mm-hmm. Is your house a part of this property here?
I sleep
Or do you live
upstairs.
elsewhere? Sleep upstairs. What's like from the angle that's up there? Where would he be able to see typically?
He'd be able to see most of the Feather District, but not very. That's where the window is pointed. But none of the Nightstones, none of the rich human people neighborhood.
Gotcha. Well, I was simply wondering because your window has such a nice view on everything that happened. And, you know, if I heard a gunshot and I was laying in bed, first thing I'd do would be get up and look out the window. What you see there?
I looked, I saw a community of apostates. The same thing I see. I wake up every morning, and then I closed
Right,
the window and went back to
relating.
sleep.
You saw no people you hadn't seen before, no unusual movement.
Nope.
Can I roll insight?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Can't roll insight too.
Yeah, can I also?
Yeah, both of you are free to.
Wow.
Because my
I'm just
wisdom
glaring
is
at him
bad.
from behind Storm.
Oh, he's
That's
ready.
probably reasonable.
4.
For the record, in the same way that calling a tabaxi a cat is really offensive, calling a tiefling a demon is extremely offensive.
I assumed. But also Ket expected it, so she's not
Poor
surprised.
insight. Okay.
Awesome.
Hold on.
Wait,
Oh,
did
I'm
Ket
really
roll?
good at insight, guys.
Everyone in this town raises. I swear to God, is everyone in this town raises.
Puts my head in my hands.
Is
He's hard to read.
That's
Is-
fine. I think he's guilty anyways.
Proctor?
He's guilty of other things.
Is Prospect Eclipse basically just a racist city, USA?
All powerful
mean-
This is
Most
a
of the powerful people
colonial.
are.
Yes, it's a colonial hellhole.
Yeah. There's a whole there's a whole district specifically dedicated to everyone else.
It's a literal ghetto.
Oh,
It's literally
yeah.
segregated.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Also, rest in peace, Ian.
Oh
Yeah,
god,
it's
did my
coming
ping go
back.
crazy again?
You've crunched a little again.
God
Your
damn
internet
it.
is slowly getting ready to shoot you twice in the back of the head.
What did I do? What did I do? This is my crime for leaving work early today. This is my punishment.
Well, how do I put this? What's the relationship between this man and, say, the mayor?
They are part of the same organization in that they're both members of the Josephian Coalition. So they probably have like a cordial business relationship.
Gotcha.
You get the impression this guy doesn't have many friends.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question. You're going to answer this question without any hint of sarcasm or mean-spirited irony. Are we clear?
That's what I've been doing this whole time.
Don't hit him, you still need him. In your opinion, who would want the what's the saloon called again?
The Red Sky at morning. Red Sky at night.
Keeps changing every time. I swore at one point
it's
you said
supposed
Red
to be
Sky
the
at
Red Sky
noon.
at night. I keep messing it up. It's in the notes as the Red Sky at
The
night.
red
That's the canon name.
sky.
I
It-
keep,
I-
I
I-
keep
What
getting
if
it
it
wrong.
does?
Odd time
It just
day.
changes depending on what time of day it actually is.
Hmm.
It's the Red Sky at time.
Who do you think? Actually, I want to ask a different question. Never mind. Who, in your honest opinion, may have a grudge against our dear mayor, both within the town and outside the town?
Maybe someone else trying to muscle into his territory. Possibly he does control this town, which is reasonably profitable, to my understanding. Perhaps that's in terms of people outside of town.
Mm-hmm. Enough for framing him for murder.
Anything's possible in politics. Within the town, my understanding is that he had some kind of argument with the mine foreman recently, but I can't imagine it would lead to murder. It didn't seem that serious.
Perhaps not, but it may be otherwise related.
Obviously, I don't trust another quick glance towards Ket and then back to Storm. Any of the folk that live on that side of town, but I think that might be too broad of a stroke for you to find anything useful. So I will
You
simply
don't
say
say.
that I know he doesn't get along with the proprietor of what's it called, the Red Sky something.
Yes, I sort of look back at Ket. I gathered. Well. I have one last question. Would you mind if I took a look out your bedroom window just to see what you would have been able to see?
Feel free. If you steal anything, you are damned to hell, assuming you aren't already.
What do you mean?
Well, yeah.
And that's
So-
you specifically, not your. What is this? Your ward?
I would suggest you take her out of your mouth, her name out of your mouth, and leave her be. Otherwise, this is going to turn into a much more unpleasant conversation. Anyway. I'm gonna go upstairs.
Okay.
Probably supervised by him, doesn't matter.
Yeah, he will go with you.
That's fine. I want to take a cursory glance around his room as I'm there.
Sure. Give me investigation.
Mm. 13.
13. I don't see the roll. Okay. With a 13, he doesn't really have much anyway. Away anywhere. A small little thing in his closet that is like half open. Is like a little bucket that seems to contain like his savings, maybe just a bunch of gold. No, it's a perfectly normal bedroom. He doesn't even have like letters or stationery or anything.
Is the
In
window
here.
open?
The curtains are drawn, but the window is like cracked open. There's a gentle breeze coming in.
Okay. I will move up. We'll push the window close, turn the thing, and I will open the window.
You open the window. You can see most of the Feathered District. It kind of cuts off in the direction of your camp.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Can I see the red sky at night?
You can see like the top of it, like the top floor, not the like ground level, because there are other buildings around.
Any notable landmarks that he can see from here? Like, in general.
Bear with me for a moment. I need to double check my notes on this. Here we go. The blacksmith is obviously right across the street. The inn, the bank, the main bank for the town, the Bank of the Beetle and the Bastard, is visible from here. Other than that, it's mostly houses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Well. All right. So you heard the gunshot around midnight, is that right?
Sounds about right, but I didn't have a clock on hand.
Just trying to guesstimate. What happened? You got out of bed, looked
got out of
outside, and
bed.
saw.
Opened the
What?
window, saw the streets. Didn't see anybody. Hang on. Give me a sec. I'm gonna roll for something. I saw he points to a just on the outskirts of town, outside of the Feather District, you can see a little clearing with some trees. There was like a glow for like a split second right over there. And then nothing. And then I went back to bed.
Have I been around that area before?
Yeah.
Are there
It's-
plants?
Yeah, trees,
Hmm.
other foliage.
That might actually be quite useful. All right, then. I think this is as much as we're going to get out of here for now. Now, I thank you for your time, but, well, lying is a sin, isn't it?
Indeed.
I'm not particularly grateful, so I won't lie to you. Anyway. You got all that, Cat?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's get out of here.
He seems
you for your
disgusted that the
time.
he seems disgusted that the tiefling seems to know how to read.
Do you ever just want to stab a guy?
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm doing such a good job of making people you hate.
Mhm.
You guys make your way
Wait,
out.
before we leave,
Yeah.
like on our way out, I wanna turn around and use thaumaturgy to make my eyes turn like pure black and give it like a grin on my way out.
Hang on. 1 sec.
You know,
This
when
is
we
at
said we wouldn't
disadvantage.
you know, when you said we wouldn't have combat this session.
His eyes go wide, and he runs upstairs and locks the door.
The hell did you do?
Oh, you know, just gave him a little wave goodbye.
Good.
Cat looks very pleased with herself.
Think he's gonna cry?
Hopefully.
Mhm. Anyway, let's get back to camp. This has actually been quite fruitful. So let's go over what we figured out. So the
You
mayor had
guys-
some.
Sorry, go ahead.
So the mayor, we're just talking while we're walking.
Yeah.
So the mayor had some kind of dispute with the foreman. That's probably something we should look into.
Yeah,
What else? What else?
that glow sounds
Now,
pretty promising for the teleporting plant nonsense.
I've been over there. There's some trees there. So, if you were to ask me, if I were them, I don't know if there's like a limited distance or whatever, but to me that sounds like they skedaddled out of the saloon and reappeared there. Especially
Mhm.
considering that, looking at, from where his bed was standing, how long would it have taken roughly for him to get up, walk over to his door, to his window, open it, and look outside?
The equivalent of 1 round of combat or less,
Gotcha.
depending on how slow he is about getting out of bed.
That does line up around with what the mayor told us, so assuming he looked out of the window for longer than 2 seconds, which we're just going to assume.
Hmm.
Either way, I thank you for your incredible restraint.
Yeah, not my first rodeo.
Oh, I know, but that doesn't mean that you still something that should be voiced, you know?
Yeah. What
People are-
what next?
Well, I say we regroup at camp and tell everybody what we found. After that,
Alright.
well, figure out what we have for lunch first of all. Then we can go talk to the foreman. Was there anything else?
Well, as you guys make your way back to camp, we are going to cut to Christopher. Not Christopher.
What?
We're going to cut to Chrono.
Huh?
I remember names. We're going to cut to Chrono. I apologize. I was
We
looking
switched
at one of your I was
specifically to
looking
Christopher's
I was
point of
looking
view.
at Mr. Storm's character sheet while thinking Chrono. Chrono, we are going to cut to you.
Yes.
You received a message this morning and you responded by saying essentially meet me at noon at the Red Sky at morning.
At-
You am I correct in that?
At morning.
I wrote down that it said
At night? Did I change it again?
yes. How about we just call it the Red Sky?
The Red Sky.
Yeah.
That
Ow.
part's been pretty consistent.
At whatever time of day it is currently.
You
Red Sky at noon.
you said meet me at the Red Sky at noon.
The red sky at 9:43.
There you go.
You arrive at the Red Sky at noon. The business is closed in the sense that there's nobody running it today. to the people of the town, it seems like Karma's taking a day off, which happens. There was a big party last night. She might have a hangover. But the door is open. You notice as you open it up and you step inside, and sitting at the bar with a bottle. I need to go into our DMs to find the picture of the fella.
Uh-huh. Do you need to know how to pronounce his name, by the way?
I do.
Okay, Itamaru.
Itamaru, lovely. You see your friend? Question mark. Itamaru. He is sitting
But
in a bar stool with a glass of whiskey in his hand. Mr. Hughes, pleasure to see you.
Just Chrono will do. I've told you this before.
Yeah, but we're alone, and what's a name between friends? Close the door behind you.
Just close the door.
You
Sits down at the
hang on.
bar.
I'm just gonna put the guy's name in Yeehaw discussion, just so that everyone knows how it's spelled for their notes. I hope I spelled that right.
Yes, you did.
Lovely. You sit down next to Itamaru. He offers you a glass of whiskey.
And I was just gonna take it and like slosh it around in circles a little bit, just looking at it, not quite meeting Itamaru in the eyes, like thinking of that.
You didn't bring any of your friends. That's a real shame.
And I know how desperately you want to meet them.
Indeed, yeah. They seem very nice. Great people. So how have you been, Mr. Hughes? I hear you're wrapped up in all sorts of, well, business in and around
Considering
town.
this door was locked when we came in. Assuming you a little bit of it.
I know some things. I maybe did a little bit of independent research of my own accord after you so kindly requested that I look into some information for you. So, let's start with... What do you want to start with? You want to start with the little girl who went to school and never came home, or do you want to start with the owner of this establishment?
Well, we're in her bar, so it's probably best that we at least raise a glass to her first. Kind of raises
Nods, raises his glass, clink, and then downs what's left of it, fills it back up, puts the bottle on the table.
chucks back the entirety of his too. Did like spirits. Karma, what?
So, you asked for rumors about Karma. Wasn't able to find anything unsavory. Apparently she was considering adoption. With regards to unusual activity around the tavern, my understanding from everything I've gathered was that there haven't been any, what's the term you people use down here? Out-of-towners coming in. So, no people that don't normally visit have been visiting lately. And with regards to the information about the mayor, his wife, his immediate circle, it's all church people, politics. I'm reasonably confident he's in a loveless marriage with someone that was arranged for it, that type of deal. But I was not able to find any details about any of them that would have pointed to their willingness to frame him for murder.
Enemies?
Also, no, strangely enough. He has them, certainly. There are people within the church that want what he has, which is to say, relatively relaxed control of a very profitable area, but none of them really have the resources to pull off something like this, which led to me maybe trying to put two and two together. And so we come to the missing child. Now, you and I have both heard those rumors in and around town about strange animals on the road accosting people. I've even heard whispers you might have had an encounter yourself. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Please, Itamaro, you and I both know that you've seen the thing. I'd be surprised if you haven't already snuck into our camp and looked at Elizabeth's autopsy reports.
You know me so well. So, I have done a little bit of digging and found that this little girl, as discussed, did go to school and did make it to school that day. But at, again, what's the word you guys use down here? Recess? Whenever the kids get to like run around in the playground and whatever, right? Before or after lunch, she vanished without a trace. Nobody really knows what happened, to my knowledge. At least, nobody associated with the school directly knows. Her home life, as far as I understand, has been nothing but pleasant. Her mothers are very friendly, great people. They raised a good little girl. But my little birdies, as it were able to catch wind of a report of some magic being performed outside of the playground at the school in Clearport.
Are there any
And
trees there? Plants?
I don't think it was that kind of magic. You see, a few other little birdies of mine that were traveling that day were able to report that they saw a very strangely colored rat giving off some magical energy. Not your little green friend there, by the way, not that one. Different strange colored rat. It had a fur pattern that almost looked like a calico cat. My understanding from the whispers that you've also heard is that this little girl was capable of creating water, correct?
A druid.
Exactly. Now, see, here's where things get a little stranger. On the road, and he pulls out a map of Zion County. On the road here, between Clearport and Brinewater, one of my little birdies was out camping, gone on a hunting trip. And he heard what sounded like a scuffle between some very strange, screamy insects and a screaming child who was casting spells. The commotion died down, and when he looked into it, after the commotion died down, because he was concerned, didn't want to go in there, risk life and limb, there was nothing. No sign of a struggle. Very strange, don't you think?
Tomorrow I have 2 more questions for you.
Of course, Mr. Hughes.
One, I want your little birdies to keep an eye out for any more missing persons cases, especially around the districts surrounding Brinewater City directly. Prospector Cliff, Limbo River, Numbville, Clearport, anything. You keep
Understood.
that under lockdown. Next thing I want you to do is to keep track of any adoptions. Where's the nearest orphanage? You said there were rumors of Karma adopting, yes?
Yes, the nearest orphanage is nearest to Prospector Cliff would be in Brinewater.
It's likely that Edith was there as well. Anything on that?
Bear with me for a split second while I double check something. Which note is this in?
Oh god.
Fuck, shit, ass, balls, fuck.
Weird.
Any words in regards to her? I'm not sure what you mean. You want to know if she was adopted from there? Yes.
Okay. Okay. In that case, keep an eye on that orphanage. Just whatever eyes you have, one eye's on that orphanage, and another on the surrounding area for any disappearances and reports of those bugs. I want anything you can find, anything you can tell me as soon as possible.
Understood. I can also have my little birdies send you directions to the assumed location of that little scuffle where it's possible something happened to her, if that would interest you.
Do it.
Understood. Is there anything else?
It's just gonna kind of his face a little bit. On the body, took it had a branding, like cattle.
Mm-hmm.
Into that.
Understood. I'll pop by your camp and see if I can get a rubbing before I leave.
You're dismissed.
Understood. He stands up, taps his hand on his chest, and turns invisible. You hear footsteps. You feel the clap of a hand on your shoulder. Great talking with you, Christopher.
Christopher.
And you hear, he says Christopher.
Ah.
And he continues walking, or at least you hear footsteps walking away from you. You hear the door open. Hear footsteps go outside, and you hear the door close.
Just gonna circle the drink one more time, knock it back, and then pour Karma's favorite drink. Just leave it on the counter. Self.
You guys all make your way back to camp. You all reconvene. Look at that, all at the same time.
Wow, weird. Time.
Yeah.
Wow. I never would have guessed
Hey
that.
guys. Fancy
Oh, hi,
seeing you
fancy
all
seeing you
here.
guys here.
At the same time.
Wow.
Alright.
Storm, but a moment.
Yes, I'd like to openly announce what we found first and plan.
Right. Just kind of takes a seat.
Well, Kat and I had a talk with the creature, and we found a potential lead and something else that's quite interesting. You see, apparently, if I say bullshit, correct me, Kat, okay?
Mhm.
Okay. Earlier, the mayor had some sort of dispute with the foreman at the mine. I don't know if it's connected to this, but it might either way be something we should check out.
Most of the miners are animal folk, if memory serves. Those not from Nimbus, right?
Is that the case?
That's what
No, most of the miners, the human folk people.
okay, never mind. Pretend like I didn't say anything.
Well, and this is probably even more interesting. The clergy fucker He might have seen our perps escape. You
Which,
see,
which side of
he
town?
didn't. Well, we'll get to that. He didn't see them directly, but he saw shortly after the gunshot. Saw on the what cardinal direction?
You guys are on the south side of town. It would have been the east side of town.
He saw a brief flash of light in an area on the east side of town, in the outskirts. Been there
Ping
before.
on the map.
Plants there.
I could ping on the map, but it was like,
Okay, so it's the eastern.
the scale is so big that pinging doesn't really help much. But yes, it was on the east side of town.
Well, I was gonna say just the general direction.
Well, essentially, I know that there's plants there. My deduction is that it might not be unreasonable to assume that they, well, teleported from the saloon to that place.
Yep.
So those are the two leads I have now. What did you need, Chrono?
Annabelle, Sally. I've been patient and I still won't pry, but are you orphans?
That is not the question I was expecting.
That was also not the question I was expecting. I will let Sally answer that.
Orphans? Huh? Could you elaborate on that, please?
Other than a direction in which our perpetrators might have went to the ramblings of a racist priest who is probably celebrating the death of our beloved
I
tavern owner.
didn't tell him who died. He doesn't know who died. For all he knows, a human died.
Right. Well, regardless, I have reason to believe all of our cases are connected. The missing girl Cat and I were made aware of is a druid. Has such magics with the plants, or she would have to learn them from someone with very similar ability to what we have. In fact, he kind of, I'm assuming Awful is just kind of scuttling around the place.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's hanging out.
He's going to pick Awful up by the scruff.
Yeah.
I've been told that a calico rat, not too dissimilar to our own, was seen near Clearport, right where our missing cat had been. Our missing, sorry, our missing. Shit, that was shit, ass bitch. Our missing Tabaxi friend is from. This is also an ability that I've seen being used by those who are able to use the great no.
I ain't never seen a calico rat if you're accusing me.
Not accusing you, I'm saying you might be useful to us. He kind of sets him gently on Storm's shoulder.
Yeah.
I do have a question though. Why does all of this being connected make you think I'm an orphan?
I'm also curious about that.
Is that Awful or the DM?
That is Annabelle.
Just gonna kind of rub his face. It's obvious that he kind of motions to the medical tent that the dead body is. Didn't always used to be what it was. It's another creature that shape-shifted. Not too dissimilar to something a druid would have. Except this was not of its own accord. This is something someone else put upon it, like cattle. And given that, one, our missing person is an orphan, also had similar shape-shifting abilities, potentially reason that they were upset, though that's too much assumptions.
Yeah.
Karma was also slated to adopt.
Okay, fine. I still don't fucking get how
Alright, just answer his question, then we can figure out his reasoning. That's always labyrinthine.
No.
I'm not, to my knowledge, I suppose.
Yeah, no, we as far as we know, we ain't orphans, you know?
Good. Kind of rubs his face.
Good.
More or less, the thought was that the orphanage, given that both of our missing persons cases at the moment are seemingly connected to an orphanage, and potentially, well, I'll say it bluntly, they're connected to you as well, and I am not so surprised. I wouldn't be so surprised if you were also fit the bill in some other way that we haven't quite yet deduced.
My god, Chrono, do I have to spell it out for you? Someone became that, and that's either convicts or somebody that's particularly vulnerable.
Like orphans? I'm aware it wasn't put upon them. Or it was put upon them, rather. I'm not saying this is something of their own will. Wondering if there's someone kidnapping your vulnerable peoples and doing that to them, and he just motions aggressively towards Sally and Annabelle.
Sure, but we'll get to that. But what the hell does that have to do with people being orphans?
I mean,
He could
well,
have.
They are vulnerable.
Sure, but Chrono, in the future, explain yourself, then ask questions. I know you hate giving up information,
Yeah,
but the way you go about these things makes literally everything that comes out of your mouth sound like an accusation.
Hold on. Fun.
Holding.
Fun.
oh, see, I am holding on
What
to
am I
the
holding on for?
I'm grasping my desk.
I'm squeezing my
holding-
D20 so hard. You have no idea.
He's just gonna kind of wave his hands over Storm's face and just... Shut up already.
Willing.
Shit, wait, hold on. Fuck, do I do this already? Hold on,
Did you-
hold on,
Yes.
hold on, hold
You
on.
You've
burned
done this
level spell
before.
slot.
No. Hold on. I do this fucking all the time. We'll pretend like it was hold person.
Shenanigans.
Wisdom save.
Save DC 15.
Yes.
Wisdom, which is a thing that
16.
we're
Fuck.
good at.
Fine.
Hey!
Oh,
Okay, who's being gross?
Nobody.
That was Christopher.
all right.
Stop that.
Very mature, everyone.
This is not the time to be petty. Now,
And if you weren't so willing to let people die under your watch, I don't think we would be having this issue to begin
who
with.
died?
Would you like me to recall the reporter? Because I'm sure we can happily tell the town right now.
What does that? They're not under my watch. What does that have to do with me? Krana, what are you really mad about?
Nothing. Just gonna take a moment to kind of soothe himself and is like still like in the group, but is like obviously taking a hot second to cool off. He's like walked away and like slicking his hair back and
While Mr. Chrono takes a moment to relax, myself and Sally also decided it was probably a good time to come clean about our past, which might help shed some light on the situation.
Just for
Sally,
the
do you want to take the lead on this?
Just for the record, you decided upon this before he started to badger you?
Yeah, he started. You passed the thing over to him, and then he started badgering us. It was yes.
Good. I just want no one to be under any.
No,
illusion
we
of
came to
what-
that conclusion while you guys were off investigating, and
Okay.
you know.
Okay. Yes. Good.
Sally, do you want to take the lead on this?
How fill in any gaps.
How about at the beginning?
I'll fill in any gaps if there's anything you miss.
Thank you. And yeah, typically the beginning is probably the best. I will say. So, in a small town village, born and raised. Thought I'd be living there till the end of my days.
If you turn this into Fresh Prince, I am killing you.
now it's a challenge. Now it's a
I've
I
seen
challenge.
did
that
just
play.
I did just on reflex jam my thumb into my really sharp D4 as soon as I started hearing that.
Okay.
Move on.
So yeah, me and Annabelle part this small village out in the wilds somewhere, and very 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 cutting it short. Me and Annabelle here got taken by some fucking freaky cult thing, and they had some doctor dude that made my mouth like this. That's the actual story behind all the stories I end up saying. And short story short, we had this group of dickheads start experimenting and shit, and then we got exiled of the village because we were not normal people no more. And so
That's the very short version. We were, to clarify, we did live north of Brinewater, so the Clearport connection might be relevant. We were kidnapped by two people. One of them, you see, Annabelle, a spellcaster, casts minor illusion to show what these individuals looked like.
Oh,
One of them matched the description of... Oh, God, where's the fucking token? Here it is. That the mayor gave of his teleporting druid kidnapper. A cat lady covered in scars.
Mhm.
The other wasn't the lizard. The lizard is unfamiliar to me. Our other kidnapper was a big, angry minotaur lady in black armor.
Gotcha.
We were taken using the tree teleporting, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Not entirely clear on that. I hesitate to call it a laboratory, but that's the best description I have for it. In a cave where we were, against our will, surgical experiments were performed on Annabelle and myself by
you mean
someone.
Sally and myself.
Sorry, on Sally and myself
Annabelle,
by
myself.
by someone matching our little rat friend. She looks at awful again. Matching our little rat friend's description of the person who was controlling those big insects. And I have a picture of this as well that she uses minor illusion to show what he looked like. Where on earth? Here we go. Chrono, do me a favor and make a history check with advantage.
Hmm.
Okay, I already know who this is. 14.
14's high enough. You remember, wasn't that long ago for you, but for everyone else, a very long time ago. Back when you lived in Nimbus, there was a scientist and a doctor and a surgeon who helped you out back up there. He looked a lot like this. He didn't have the scars, he didn't have the antlers.
You
This
just hear,
seems to be the same guy.
you hear Chrono look at this and just under his breath go, motherfucker.
Can I see if Sally hears that?
Oh, he's not like hiding it. He's like biting his thumb and like
Then yeah, you all see that.
Okay.
Familiar?
he looks like he's fucking furious.
Yeah, Sally is immediately just going to be like angry eyes and just being like, What do you know?
Hold on, let me look back in my notes. Sweats. I do remember this person. I'm just. Ambrose Moniz. Did I say that right?
It's Amboise, but yes.
Oh god, he's French.
Mr. Storm.
Yes?
That's a familiar name to you.
How so?
God.
Bear with me while I go back in our DMs. You remember, at one point in your career, you had to help clean up. About 10 years ago, in game time, you were tasked with assessing and cleaning up the laboratory of someone with that exact name, a surgeon and researcher who had been arrested for crimes against the royal family. On the books, the details were limited, but you were able to glean from some conversations with your superiors. He had apparently kidnapped one of King Cumulus's children and performed a bunch of weird surgical experiments on them that ended up getting them killed. So he got dropped. So that name is familiar to you.
Don't know him by looks, but I know who that is.
Chronos.
Okay. So I am the only one out of the loop.
So, about 10 years ago, when I was still up in Nimbus, we were functionally, it was essentially a raid. We confiscated tons of stuff from some guy's laboratory that apparently kidnapped a kid, royalty.
What?
Yeah, he kidnapped one of the princesses. I forget which one.
Is he?
Performed some experiments on her that, well, they killed her. So he was banished down to Zion after, well, after he got caught, frankly.
That's fucking insane.
Christopher, would you be so kind as to give me a history check?
Sure. Not great at those either.
Ooh.
3.
Okay, well, okay, that does affect how much I will reveal, but you do remember that having gone through his lab, you had the opportunity to read some of his notes. Your wife is the scientist in the family, but you were able to glean from the executive summary sections in some of his papers that he was really focused on strange esoteric theories about biological telepathy and insect hive minds, which means that him being the one who was controlling those big insects does line up.
Crazy bastard.
Fascinating.
Yikes.
So,
didn't cause enough trouble topside, so he decided to come wreck people's lives down here, did he?
Well, I've seen the type.
It is connected.
So, how do I put this? Generally speaking, there are two types of scientists. There are
Chrono raises one eyebrow, and in a very choose your next words extremely wisely.
there are those who use their innate curiosity in order to, well, fulfill that curiosity, to quench that thirst, and to, well, learn more about the world. And then there are those who have an idea of what they would like to achieve. People who set out with specific goals. And sometimes those goals clash with, well, what's allowed or perhaps even possible. And then one can either find a compromise, or they can go ahead and do what they want anyway.
DM,
Yeah.
you said that I had talked with him regularly. Which would I consider him to be?
You probably thought of him before you got dropped. Now, to be clear, you got dropped for everyone else 20 years ago. Very long time.
Yes.
You probably thought of him as a friend, honestly. He was doing you a solid by basically giving you free
Hormones.
medical treatments and surgery for a number of years. So and you two got along. You were like academic colleagues.
Wasn't he the one who who put me in contact with others, though?
Let me double check, but I don't think so.
Okay.
Whose DMs am I looking at? I'm looking at the wrong ones. Here we go.
Damn, I can't believe the DM's sliding into DMs.
Yeah, right. Oh god. Here we go. No, those others reached out to you of their own accord.
Okay.
Quick, what do you know?
He... He's had... I knew him time ago. Before he was dropped. As I'm sure you are aware. Kind of touches his face. He was very interested in the work of biology. That was his main field of subject. We were colleagues.
In what capacity?
Nothing direct. Our works were parallel, but not intersecting tangibly. Just in my time working with him. However, I'm not surprised. Not for any other reason than he just touches his face. I don't trust much of anyone.
Well, I'm sure we can figure out the details of it when we have to, but... Kat, did you get most of that?
Yeah.
Over the table, what was the letters on the body again?
AM.
Oh.
Chrono just looks like he's turning his head.
Alright.
It. I didn't block that.
Let's mull all of this over. Keep discussing it. And while we figure out what to do about that, I suggest two things. One, we check out the location where the racist guy saw a flash of light, and follow our other lead and mine. But before that, we need lunch. You never are. Well,
As you guys make your way to the sort of eating area where Harmony off to the side has been preparing a soup for everyone to eat for lunch. That's where we're going to end today's session.
I want to say just one last thing.
Yeah, cool.
I want to go over to Sally and
Mhm.
forgot her name.
Annabelle?
Annabelle.
I wanted to call her Suzanne for some reason.
Suzanne Bell.
Yeah, no. I just sort of I assume they're sitting together.
Yeah.
No. I know that none of you were looking for pats on the back or whatever, but I am happy that you decided to, come clean with us, if you can even call it that. Nothing's gonna change for our part. Family here. No matter who or what you are.
Cheers. Thank you. That means a lot.
Annabelle nods in agreement.
Still have one question though. What made you hesitate so much?
It just ain't something I like to.
I can empathize with that. And understand that. Well. But, as per usual, you don't have to talk about things you don't want to. But, one thing you have demonstrated, both of you have demonstrated here today, is that you're not dogmatic in your beliefs about those things, and you do understand when there's a bit of urgency about something. No, I apologize for Krona's way of phrasing things more than anything. He doesn't mean bad. He's scared, I think. Of losing something he's not even sure he has. But that's just me psychoanalyzing an old friend. Oh, right. I stand up. I pull up gold coin from my from my purse, and I hand it to Awful, and then I sit down to eat.
Awful grabs the coin, doesn't look at it at first, thinks it's food, bites it, and goes, "Ow! What the? Oh!" And then like tucks it away in his little flesh pouch, and
You
then
wait.
and then
Speaking
nods.
of which, Awful,
Yeah,
you maybe want a little stash somewhere in camp that we can just put stuff for you.
I would love that.
Sure. Do we have like an unused satchel somewhere?
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna pick up this unused satchel. I'm gonna like put it like between two tents. Awful, this here is now your tent and storage.
I will use it well.
Awful, homeowner.
Yeah. One day I'll be a landlord.
Oh no.
Well, it's a bit hard when you live in a nomadic lifestyle.
I'll make it work.
Are
How
you going to charge your
quickly-
rent from the
how
fleas?
quickly he turns to evil.
Yes.
Uh,
Fleas have a very developed economy, you know.
I'm sure they do. Anyway, yeah, now we can end. Sorry.
I actually also.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm assuming Chrono has a way to, like, let Itamaru know that he wants to contact him or does something.
Yeah,
Is it
you've
like
got a
message
little.
stone.
Yeah, you've got a sending stone. You can use it to cast sending specifically to Isamaru.
Sorry,
Did I say his name wrong?
Ida.
It's Idamaru, isn't it?
It's
I'm
like
saying it wrong.
it's
Idamaru,
like
yes.
it's like the red sky. It's always going to change. I'm sure at
He's-
one point it'll be Imamaru.
Yeah.
It's because Isamaru is a magic card.
So he's just, while everyone else is kind of settling down to a soup, he's in one hand has his pocket watch, like clutching it tightly, like rubbing over it, and with the other is like subtly holding the sending stone to his lips. Just and sends to Inamaru. Everything you can and it says, fuck, hold on.
Ambroise Moniz.
Was find him.
You got it.
Every campaign has a Mari.
Alright, first of all.
And that's where we're going to end today's session. Congratulations, everybody, for identifying the villain of this arc. You all level up.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, I get
I
my
will
little
send you
guy.
guys. I will send you guys your leveled up retainer stat blocks sometime this week.
I love the idea that Ket is just now the chronicler.
Yeah, by pure accident.
Yeah. Well, it's because I know you write notes, so I can pace
I
around.
do have just so many notes. Wait,
Uh,
hold on. How many notes do I have from today?
What's funny is that Annabelle is actually the chronicler in terms of like
Yeah.
game rolls.
I have 2 pages of notes from today.
So, Diddy, over the table. How accurate was Storm's psychoanalysis